So there is no love lost in the group, the Fugees, because Pras Michel, one of the founding members, is suing Miss Lauryn Hill for fraud and breach of contract. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your #1 source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So buckle up, because I have to give you a lot of context when it comes to this story. As you know, if you listen to our podcast, Kempire, I talked about my experience at the Lauryn Hill and Fugees reunion show that happened here in New York City at Barclays. And that was just a few months ago. So the fact that we are in this particular place is kind of weird. But as you also know, the Fugees were supposed to reunite again and have additional tour dates, only for Lauryn Hill to come out and say the tour has been canceled. And the reason why the tour has been canceled is because of y'all. All the speculation and all these rumors and elevation about these rumors have caused people not to buy tickets. And a lot of people and a lot of us said, no, Lauryn, it's because you've been late consistently for decades. Let's start there first, because that was the first story that I saw the other day in regards to Lauryn Hill being late and having a terrible show, and the venue had to issue refunds. So our friends over at Hot New Hip Hop write this. They said, when it comes to Lauryn Hill performance of any kind, you're going to have to expect the unexpected. While health issues are certainly a more than a fair reason to put a show on hold, fans are still going to feel some type of way when cancellations become normal. Hill has always been extremely defensive when it comes to this topic, stating that the media's obsession with, quote, sensationalism and clickbait headlines, that was her last response to the late rumors. And she even told fans directly, y'all lucky I make it on this stage every night.
Hell no.
While it certainly is a treat to be able to hear her play her songs in a live setting, the constant delays aren't going to be able to leave supporters' minds that easy. So they let us know about a recent one. So the other night, for example, in Nairobi, Kenya, Miss Hill was scheduled to hit the stage at the Walkertown Festival at 8 p.m. local time. But according to some tweets gathered by All Hip Hop, one upset fan said Lauryn Hill was supposed to perform at 8 p.m. in Nairobi and was more than 4 hours late, finishing her set at 4:35 a.m. on a Monday. To be fair, though, her and the sound team were forced to deal with horrific technical issues throughout the performance. One tweet said, Walkertown was just a mess. After waiting till 3 a.m., Lauryn Hill was forced to perform with very poor sound. She struggled throughout her set. They continued, they said, on top of that, the sound check was not fully completed until hours later. At this time, Hill has yet to respond to the backlash. Doubt she will, because she has other things to worry about today because, as I mentioned, Pras Michel, one of the founding members of the Fugees, is apparently suing Lauryn Hill. So in an exclusive from Variety, they say Pras Michel, a founding member of Grammy-winning hip-hop group The Fugees, is suing his bandmate Lauryn Hill in federal court for fraud and breach of contract. I'm going to tell you why I find this rich, because of what Pras is facing in regards to his own legal stuff. Among other claims over their abbreviated 2023 and canceled tour a year later. In a scathing lawsuit filed Tuesday in the Southern District of New York, we've been very familiar with the Southern District of New York. Michelle alleges that Hill grossly mismanaged the setup, marketing, and budgeting of their scuttled 2023 tour, which was actually a veiled and devious attempt to make a big score for herself. I mean, I went to their show in Brooklyn, and it was deemed the 25th anniversary of her miseducation, along with the Fugees. So it was sort of like, yes, it was almost, yes, people are going to probably haven't been coming to her shows because she's been so late and the rumors of her being so late. So having a Fugees reunion does help. Pras also added in the lawsuit that the singer then secretly siphoned off money from the tour guarantees. The full list of claims include fraud in the inducement, breach of fiduciary duty, breach of contract, accounting, and refusal to permit an audit of the Fugees tour. The suit claims that the 2023 Fugees tour should have been a huge commercial success since most of the shows for the entire arena-sized tour were sold out in advance. However, Michel came away empty-handed because Hill controlled the tour budget. That was so bloated with unnecessary and most likely fictitious expenses that it seemed designed to lose money. Furthermore, the tour was cut short when Hill abruptly and unilaterally canceled the second half in November of 2023, citing serious vocal strain. The lawsuit, which paints Hill as a wolf in sheep's clothing with narcissistic tendencies, offers up juicy anecdotes, including one involving her turning down a $5 million offer for the Fugees to perform at Coachella this year over feeling snubbed by the festival, putting No Doubt at the top of the bill. I'm going to have to unpack this lawsuit, but we're just giving you an overview. He says in the lawsuit, Hill's arrogance was again demonstrated when she unilaterally rejected a $5 million offer to play Coachella. The reason was that her ego was bruised since the group No Doubt would be receiving top billing over the Fugees the night of their show. Hill never told Pras about the offer or that she had rejected it. Pras only learned about it when it was too late after Hill, in an astonishing display of hubris, asked Pras if he would agree to perform a few Fugees songs for free as the opening act for her son, YG Marley, who was slated to perform at the same Coachella festival. According to the complaint, Hill, reeling from a failed solo tour, first proposed the idea of the Fugees reunion in spring of 2023 to Wyclef, who then pitched it to Michel. She realized that the only chance for her to perform at arena-sized venues and feed her insatiable ego would be to reunite with Pras and Wyclef and bill the 25th anniversary tour as a Fugees tour, the suit states. I mean, I don't really feel like he's lying. Hill exploited Michel's precarious situation in which he needed money for the mounting legal fees the complaint contends. At the time, Michel was in the middle of a 4-year legal battle with the United States Department of Justice after being named as a co-defendant of the Wolf of Wall Street financier Joe Low, who allegedly stole $4.5 billion from the Malaysia Sovereign Wealth Fund known as 1MDB. We were just talking about this in one of the world's largest financial scandals ever. While Low remains on the run and is believed to be living in China, where he evades justice, Michel was convicted last year in April of 2023, including for violations of Foreign Agents Registration Act and acting as an agent of China. Michel was never accused of participating in the epic theft that was used to finance lavish Hollywood parties that cost 8 figures a pop and drew the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio and Paris Hilton. Leonardo, your name keeps coming up a lot lately. But the 2023 Fugees tour, which was canceled abruptly by Hill, did little to help Pras cover his legal bills and left him owing nearly $1 million in unrecouped expenses because, quote, Hill was taking 40% of the tour guarantees and tour net profits off the top for herself, leaving the remaining 60% to be split equally between Hill, Pras, and Wyclef. So she was already getting money off the top and she was getting a split. Ew. Michel and his representatives only learned of the setup this year. Earlier this year, as you know, Hill allegedly entered into a new agreement with Live Nation for an 18-show Fugees U.S. tour scheduled to kick off in August of 2024. She never disclosed the agreement to Pras Michel, according to the suit. Ticket sales were dismal, which Michel blames on Hill because she had taken far too long to close the deal with Live Nation, and there was little or no marketing for the tour, and not enough time between the announcement and the first concert date to be sufficient advance sales to justify the tour. So I guess for those of us that saw them at Barclays, we probably saw the last of the Fugees ever coming together. So as a result, Live Nation pulled the plug on the U.S. tour in August, prompting speculation about what really torpedoed the highly anticipated tour. At the time, Hill blamed the media. She released a statement that said, "Last year, I faced an injury that necessitated the rescheduling of some of my shows. Regrettably, some of the media outlets' penchant for sensationalism and clickbait headlines have seemingly created a narrative that has affected ticket sales for the North American portion of the tour." The suit also claims that Hill has tarnished the Fugees brand due to her habit of showing up late for shows, sometimes by as many as 2 to 3 hours. Hill has continued to draw fans' complaints for her chronic tardiness. Just this week, the singer, as you know, we just mentioned, hit the stage more than 4 hours late for a show in Nairobi, Kenya. And apparently, the Fugees aren't the only musical act currently ensnared in illegal infighting. Hall & Oates founders Daryl Hall and John Oates have been battling it out in confidential arbitration over the sale of their business partnership. Didn't know about Hall & Oates. Guys, here's the thing. I believe Pras. Although Pras and his own situation is questionable, as we just mentioned in regards to what he's facing, I was surprised that he was even able to do a tour. I'm like, aren't you worried about you were convicted? And then I saw Vulture reported back in early September that a judge denied his retrial. So they said Pras Michel, a founding member of the Fugees and the first hip-hop artist who can be convicted on charges of working as a covert agent of the Chinese government, has entirely run out of ways to avoid going to federal prison. But he's getting close. On the Friday before Labor Day, Judge Colleen Cotelli issued her lengthiest ruling on the case since Michel was first indicted in 2019 on conspiracy charges for money laundering and election law violations. Following Michel's conviction last year, he upgraded to new lawyers who immediately went after his prior attorney, former Death Row Records counsel David Kenner, for allegedly doing such a poor job defending Michel that he violated his right to a fair trial. Known as an ineffective assistance of counsel claim, it was more than a dozen arguments made by Michel's new team for why he deserves a retrial. In her 77-page ruling, the judge responded to them all with one consistent and resounding message.
Nope.
Pras' lead attorney says that we're disappointed with the decision. We think there were grievous and serious errors in the trial and they impacted the fairness of the outcome, and we will be appealing. So you can see the motivation behind why Pras is suing Lauryn, rightfully so, based off what he's laid out in regards to her making deals without their knowledge or deciding not to take a deal. That $5 million deal with Coachella would have been huge for him and his mounting legal bills. That's not the first time, though. I believe Pras mentioned that before this recent reunion, they had a whole reunion deal on the table that included a bunch of things that was worth millions of dollars. And because of Lauryn, he alleged, it didn't happen. I mean, I'm surprised, but not surprised at the same time. Guys, what are your reaction to the news that Pras Michel, who's also facing his own federal sentence, is suing his band member, Lauryn Hill, or should I say former band member, because I think the Fugees are officially over. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll add the fuel. Follow my lead, just watch the shoes. Gotta turn the heat up.